Hey folks, this is Babaginator. Welcome in. We are in the long dark. We are starting over. We had a disastrous end to our last run. A terribly bad luck encounter with a wolf in Winding River of all places. There's exactly one wolf, and it's usually an easy wolf to take down. But on this particular occasion, in a windstorm, we had dropped our torch, we had aimed our bow, and the wolf ran a loop, a circle, around the torch and attacked us from the side. So we got the path wrong, and it took us down, and we were already weak. There ends our 55, 56 day run. The one that started in Black Rock, and we survived that. Yeah. So, not happy about that, but here we are. We took a few days off, and now we're ready to go back in. We're going to start our new Interloper run. We are going to take our usual Cold Fusion and Efficient Machine. These are kind of my go-tos. We'll leave the Cougar in for annoyance. We'll leave the Scurvy in. We're going to skip the Trader. We don't really use the Trader. Okay, so this is Roll With It. 26. Number 7. I guess Roll With It. Roll With It 2026. Tapped. 7. Okay, where are we going to start? No one knows. Someplace random. Hopefully it's a good place. Where are we? Could be, early dawn. It's actually kind of a sucky time, isn't it? No, I take that back. It's actually a good time. Black Rock once again. Okay, so we were Black Rock. This is going to be terrible. Again. Okay, so let's see what we get here. We'll roll our die at the beginning of this challenge. And if you need a reference for that, here's our challenge. We are going to roll a die. Since it's the first 50 days, we'll roll a d10 for our major region. This is Black Rock. And 10 days. Yeah, we're not going to make it. Wow. That's probably not going to work. But we'll try. Okay, let's see here. We get lucky and get matches early. Maybe. But I'm not holding my breath here. At least it's not pitch black.
freezing.
I think we just came from there. Prison Road. Okay, so this is to the prison. I was like, I hear a bear. That's not good. Where are you at, buddy? It's coming that way. If I remember correctly, there's a cave over here. Would have liked for you to have matches, but you didn't have matches. Or clothing. Nothing. Wow, that's pretty sad. And Miss Bear's going back.
I think I can use this.
Okay. Uh-oh. There's back up. Where is he? Can't believe he's charging us from there. Would be nice to have at least a flare, right? Okay, let's think of a plan here. What we're going to do. Okay, so currently we're at the old substation. If we can get past the bear, there's a shed of fire. It probably matches. Maybe. And then it's a long walk to... No, we could retreat back to the cave. No, we don't have bedroll. So the only place we can stay is the substation. Or we have to go all the way to the prison. Wow, this kind of sucks. $10 in this. This is not good.
Sure getting cold.
That's not good. That's not good. Bad news. Totally bad news. No, this is bad news.
Goddamn freezing.
Yeah, this is not going to work. We are so dead.
That guy who drank his own pee doesn't seem so crazy right now.
Okay, we survived, but yeah, we're kind of dead in the water without matches or flare or anything to start a fire with. And we triggered the timber walls, so they're just going to stay around. Just all these fuses, no flares. Yeah, we just started a new run and it's already doomed. We're in Black Rock and we rolled a 10. And we started off far from any sort of fire source. And we've just triggered our first Timberwolf pack. So, and we've played Dodge twice with the bear. So we are not even through the first day and we've already got so many problems. And we don't have any water. Yeah, it's just taunting us. Yeah, it's taunting us, right? D10.
Man, I could eat anything.
Okay, so I think we just bite the bullet. If the Timberwolves are out there, we'll just end up with them. If they're not out there, uh-oh. Gonna die a different way. I'm beginning to think I'll never get another successful Black Rock start.
Damn it. Bleeding all over the place.
Uh-oh, I think he's coming back for us. Jeff, it's already doomed. Oh, didn't even make it through the first day in Black Rock. Oh boy. It was a busy first day. We 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 survived a bear attack, which killed us. Where are the Timberwolves? Oh, we managed to. Oh, we didn't get any credit for. I guess we didn't actually. We managed to cheat the Timberwolves and escape them before they actually engaged with us. They did chase us, but we didn't actually get hit once, so managed to avoid that. Yeah, it was all sorts of bad. Okay, that was just a warm up. We are now on. Oh boy, we are now on attempt number 8. So, if anyone's new and wondering what in the world we're doing here, we're doing this really challenging challenge, which I came up with called Roll With It. So basically we stay a randomly determined amount of time in each region, and the potential length of time keeps increasing every 50 days. So it gets longer and longer, potentially. We have to visit every region in the game. And, yeah. Okay. We're going to keep the cougar. We're going to turn off the trader since we actually never use the trader. Scurvy can stay on. Roll with it. 2026 attempt 8. Okay, let's hope it's not BlackRock. Okay, Timberwolf Mountain. Early morning. This is not too bad, depending where we are. It's always hard to get my bearings at the start of a Timberwolf Mountain run. Oh, and we have to roll. We have to roll and find out how many days we're going to be here. So let's roll our d10. 4. Okay, 4. We can do 4. 4. Yeah, the 10 days in Black Rock to start was just kind of doomed. Timberwolf Mountain 04. I think if we have matches and torches, we should make it. And if we have the bedroll, then we would definitely go to Ash Canyon. Where are we? Did I see? I think I know where we are. There's that rope that comes down. The engine over there. Wolf over there. Let's not engage the wolf. Don't engage the wolf. This is another rope climb down.
Gotta warm up somehow.
Yeah, up the creek without any matches, yes. But if we can get to the Mountaineer's hut, we'll at least have matches, right?
Oh, so cold.
see, we got some cattails here. So how's everyone's weekend? As tempting as it would be to go out there, I think we'll have wolves waiting for us. I hear the wolves everywhere. So I finally got my winter tires swapped out for summer tires. But it's kind of amusing since I pretty much don't drive anywhere anymore. Like, my car's parked like most of the month. Might take it out once. There we go. We're almost here. What's the best way out of here? We see wolves? I see wolves everywhere. That's not good. And there's backpack over here we should probably grab. Yep, we're not warm. We're still not warm.
Looks like this has been here a while.
Okay. Okay, let's make some water and get ourselves warmed up here. Okay. Well, we got our matches now. It's already better than the Black Rock run. Oh, that's terrible. Our problem is we're not going to have enough to stay warm. That's 7. 8. 9. Okay, let's make ourselves. Okay, let's go out there and hopefully find some useful things. Okay, no more frostbite for us. Still not warm, but no more frostbite.
Starting to feel numb.
So we don't have a hacksaw, so it might not make sense to go to the summit.
I'm so cold. I'm warming up a bit.
Oh, I know where there's some more firewood. Okay.
Getting a bit thirsty.
Oh, go away, go away. firewood. Hmm.
Perfect.
Okay. Ooh. What's going on outside? Fog. Is this the one? Oh, I don't know if this is the one. This is, I feel like Timberwolf Mountain is a hard place to spawn if you don't find a bedroll pretty quickly. And you don't have a hacksaw. Yeah. I'm going to take a short bio break and I'll be back. Hey, Roller, you missed the start of the stream where we actually did start in Black Rock, rolled 10 days, and proceeded to get chased by timber wolves, bear, and then finally run down by a bear and mauled to death. Or actually, the bear didn't finish mauling us to death. We were just basically dead at that point and died while bandaging. So, yeah. That's where we were at with our very first Black Rock run on the previous, like, attempt number 7. So we're on attempt number 8. Yep. Yep. I don't know. Black Rock seems out to get me. We ran pretty far away from that bear, but that bear was determined to get us. Yeah, if we failed this attempt, we might take a break and do a different challenge for a little bit. Or we may finally sit down and play the episode 5. So one reason why I do want to play episode 5 is I do want to see how the story ends. And then I would like to give a critique. At least think about it in terms of storytelling from the vantage point of someone who teaches creative writing. What do I actually make of the story and the characters by the end of it? Because I've heard a number of people, some people complain about it being too rushed or too linear or too not enough survival components or like a whole bunch of other things. Or feeling like railroaded into particular narratives. Let's see. We almost missed. There's a hacksaw right here. Look at that.
Perfect.
I think that means we, woohoo! We can find a bedroll, and then we're set. We don't really have a spare cloth to work with, so it's going to be rough if we decide to make a run for the summit. Okay. What do we think? Do we need to fire all night long? Wow. Maybe. Then we're 5. It's going to be a close call here. Okay, we're going to go with the... Okay. Try to sleep for 4 hours. Now it's cold.
Come on, little fire.
I think the summit would be useful.
That didn't work.
We could potentially get, I mean, it's a little hit or miss, but there'd be food and there'd be clothing at least. So tomorrow I have to take my car in. So I just had the tires done today or Saturday, and tomorrow I'm going to have to go and get the provincial safety inspection done on the car.
I could eat anything right now.
Which apparently charged $200 for. Lambda Yak. Okay, Lambda Yak. You love misery mode. Wow. How long have you been in misery mode? I've done exactly one misery run so far. And the reason why I have not gone back is because I felt like my luck was so bad on an already bad luck run that I don't really want to replicate it. So like I got misery and I did a misery run where I lasted 41 days. We almost made it 50 days. But it was 41 days with no bedroll and no bow. It took us forever to find the hammer. When we finally found the hammer and forge, it was right at the end of our time, and we were dying of starvation and, miscellaneous other misery, ailments. And so we ended up starving to death while crafting our bow. That's how we lost our misery run. So we never actually got to shoot anything. 41 days with no bedroll in misery. Okay, let's do some more water. Oh yeah, we came up with very clever ways to feed ourselves, but yeah. Normally I could get myself a bow pretty quickly, but that was kind of a long, drawn-out process. This is our current challenge, if you're new to this. We're doing an Interloper challenge in which we spend a randomly determined amount of time in each region. So every time we enter or spawn in a region, if it's a major region, we roll a d10. So that's a 10-sided die for non-D&D people. And so you get a number 1 to 10. And we roll a 4-sided die for every transition zone or micro region. So we started off this run in Timberwolf Mountain and we rolled a 4. So that means we have to stay for 4 days, and on the 4th day, we have to be out by midnight. We cannot leave early, and we cannot leave, how can I put this? We cannot leave a day or two early, and we cannot leave a day or two late. It has to be on the day, and it has to be before midnight of that day. And we have to visit every single region in the world at least once. It's pretty challenging because sometimes you roll very low and it's a very large region and there's no time to loot anything. You're just going to have to race through it. And then there are other times, you just have 24 hours if it's one day. And there are other times when you roll high and it's a small region or a very limited resource region and you're like thinking, how am I going to survive for this long? So like we lost a run last stream on day 55, I think it was, it was just bad luck. We had a torch down, we were facing off against the wolf, we had our bow, and the wolf's path veered in a circle around the torch and then hit us from the side. I think partly what happened was that the wolf appeared already mid-spring or mid-charge, and so by the time we had the torch down, it was not going to register. So, yeah, and so after we lost that run, we did a new run, and we spawned in Black Rock, and then proceeded to roll 10 days. So, yeah, that did not work. Yeah, 10 days, Interloper, Black Rock spawn, and you don't have matches. Yeah, it was eventful, it was just not successful. Whew. Three days where we are? Yeah. Just have to stay warm and got lots and lots of firewood.
God, I'd eat anything right about now.
Oh. Where are the guaranteed? There are, I don't think, any guaranteed BlackRock matches. There are just 3 or 4 likely to spawn spots, so you have to check all of them. And they're all, like, the closest one to where I spawned was in the path of both the bear and the timber wolves. So, yeah, that was not a fun experience. Ooh. Okay. Okay. Yeah, it was a pretty nasty start. This one is always going to be weather issues. But, I mean, we do have enough to cover our hands and our heads, so we have no more frostbite issues, but we are feeling a little thin. Yeah, I've been spending most of my life living in Timby Paradise. Definitely check that out. Yep. Okay. I'm a little worried because I don't have any more firewood. At this rate, we're not going to make it. We weren't able to get enough to keep us going through the night. Okay, let's see. Okay, I think I'm gonna get... I'm tempted to finish up a little bit early tonight. I am feeling a little tired. It was a long day. I was up early. Okay. Yeah, I think we should. I think we should try for Summit, honestly, if we can get some way to sleep. Okay. Oof. Don't know. So you think we should go visit AV? Yeah, I think we should. Okay. Made it through to the next morning.
so hungry.
Oh yeah. I'm just tired. Okay. Trying to figure out how we end this. Oh, I'm too tired, so I'm gonna wrap it up. Yeah, it's not gonna happen. Oh, tired. Okay, so we should take our can. How are we doing for matches? We got 10 still. Feel a little bad, but I think we're gonna save our torches and take a nap. Hey, we saved. Okay, we'll figure out what to do with. We'll read some poems and we'll wrap up. So we made it one day, and then poor Papa's energy just dropped out. Yay! Day one. Okay. Yeah. So let's read something here. Okay, so something from a friend. Google says the file doesn't exist anymore? Try this. Yeah, it should be. Okay, hold on a second. I am going to. Yeah, no, hold on a second. Well, I'm going to grab a. I have a poetry book in the other room, so I'll be back in a second. Grab that. Okay. I found something to read. So... I think we'll read this one. This is from the poet Li Young Lee, from his book, The City in Which I Love You. This was published a while back by Boa Editions in 1990. But I really, really love what Li Young Lee can do with language. And there were a number of poets who were major influences on, in the process of me figuring out how to write poetry, especially writing towards the first book, my first book. So some of these poems or some of these poets were big influences. And Li Young Lee was one of them, teaching me a lot about like imagination and trusting the direction of a poem to go in unexpected ways, and yet be musical with its twists and turns. So here's an example of something that feels at once conversational and yet also dreamlike. This hour and what is dead. Tonight my brother in heavy boots is walking through bare rooms over my head, opening and closing doors. What could he be looking for in an empty house? What could he possibly need there in heaven? Does he remember his earth, his birthplace set to torches? His love for me feels like spilled water running back to its vessel. At this hour, what is dead is restless, and what is living is burning. Someone tell him he should sleep now. My father keeps a light on by our bed, and readies for our journey. He mends 10 holes in the knees of 5 pairs of boys' pants. His love for me is like his sewing, various colors and too much thread, the stitching uneven, but the needle pierces clean through with each stroke of his hand. At this hour, what is dead is worried, and what is living is fugitive. Someone tell him he should sleep now. God, that old furnace, keeps talking with his mouth of teeth, a beard stained at feasts, and his breath of gasoline, airplane, human ash. His love for me feels like fire, feels like doves, feels like river water. At this hour, what is dead is helpless, kind and helpless. While the Lord lives, someone tell the Lord to leave me alone. I've had enough of his love that feels like burning and flight and running away. So, he begins with something that feels concrete and then increasingly becomes something else, a meditation about loss, about how people are not always what they seem, and how we sometimes don't get what we need. Sometimes, a lot of times, yeah. Okay, so let us read something else then. Oh, I think we're going to go old school. We'll go back to my first book, The Lost Country of Sight, and we'll read something from there. Trying to think as we're winter ends, we're into spring now. What would fit into this transition? Some of these poems always feel like winter or spring. Or winter or fall, sorry, I should say. The ones that feel like spring are rare, but... That's more summer. I mean, this is kind of more spring. This one's could be either one. Okay, I think I've read that one recently. Yeah, we'll do this one. Postcard from Taipei. In the absence of a train, I wait for the distant hum of the rails, the slow sun's return, even a voice to name another voice. Everything dim, I search the city's haze for a discernible line, for something that moves, for anything to hold. The names of Buddha, ink brush on rain-polished steps, betel nut and blood, the yellow-robed monks sleeping, all morning this silence, this pervasive stay of the world. The walls are still, the clouds are forming pearls. Lost luggage, twice bound with twine and ribbon, contents unknown, sits to my side, anxious for reunion, for something akin to what we want from longing, what we dream mid-journey in the silence of cars, the rattle of steel frames, the substance of sleep, the tin roofs sounding in the wind, what I recall of beauty. So I think the inspiration for this poem was like thinking back to my experiences when I was in Taiwan, age 19 to 21. I spent 2 years there as a missionary, but I was also kind of occupying this weird space of someone who was returning to a country that I had lived in as a child. You know, when I was 3.5, 4 years old, we spent about 7 months in Taiwan as well. My mother's side of the family is Chinese, and we spent 7 months there. And then I went back when I was 14 for a summer, having already forgotten the language, and then gone back when I was 19, having relearned the language, or in the process of relearning the language. And so this particular moment came, somewhere in that 2-year period of time. I was at a more remote, I think it was early morning, a more remote train station. And it was probably transfer day. I was moving to a new area. And so we had to get up really early to catch the train. And I remember looking over the platform and the people that were there. And it was such an odd collection of people. Like people I would not have thought all standing together. And so that's part of that inspiration. Sort of the odd serendipity of who shows up in the middle of nowhere at this, at the really early hour, just as the sun's rising. And thinking also about all these other things, like the lost luggage, abandoned, clearly, did not make it to the traveler that was supposed to travel with, and sitting there abandoned at the side. And thinking about what's beauty, what things do feel weirdly beautiful in their abandoned or ruined state. So the poem actually, the first draft of the poem, had a completely different order. And I had started instead with the lines that are now the end of the poem. And I had written the poem as, what I recall of beauty, the tin roofs sounding in the wind, the rattle of steel frames, substance of sleep, what we dream mid-journey in the silence of cars. And it can totally work. Like if you reverse the order of the poem, it will mostly work. But I was not quite happy with how it ended. And as I was staring at the poem, thinking about what I could do to it to try to like find a better way to end the poem, I had this epiphany that I said, I wonder what would happen if I started reading the poem backwards. And so I went to the end of the poem, and I think the last line at the end of the poem is now the first line of the poem. And it was like, in the absence of a train, I wait for the distant hum of the rails. And I tried that, and I was like, you know what? This actually works really well as a beginning. And then all this, like, and I think like what I realized was like the problem with the original poem with beginning with what I recall of beauty is that it forces the reader to interpret everything that comes afterwards as being part of what might be beauty. And it funnels a particular interpretation. Whereas by starting at the end and having like this assortment of details and observations, all of which feel like a little tinge of loneliness, a little tinge of like ephemerality of things disappearing, of like sort of randomness and chance and unexpectedness. Sometimes the slow sun's return. Things that remind us of other things. By beginning with that and then moving towards the end, the idea of beauty is a surprise. And I think that's what makes the poem work much better, in this way. So it still ends where it begins. Yeah, it does. And I think it's interesting, like I tell, like when I'm helping other writers, I sometimes tell them, if the poem's not working, let's see what happens if we like encounter the poem in a different way. And it could be that we start at the end, or maybe we start in the middle, but we start someplace other than where we thought the poem started and see how the poem holds together. And there may be lines that now naturally flow together and you think, oh, these actually fit much better in this order. And then having rearranged it in that way, you see the poem in a completely new light. So that's kind of what we do. So, yeah, thanks for hanging out with us tonight. We're going to go try to find someone to raid. Let's see who's still up. AV is still up. Okay, so let's get this raid going. Thanks for hanging out with us. I'm going to go get some sleep here soon. Tired. But yeah, we'll see you on the other side of this raid. Till then, take care and good night.